Hey everyone, welcome back to Friday the 13th AG. I'm Friday, I'm a teen American Girl doll collector, and today I'm going to show you how to easily customize your American Girl dolls. Now, by no means is this a full customization tutorial. I do have full customs, such as Miss Finley here, who you will see a little bit throughout the video. I'm not going to be going fully in depth on how I customize dolls with limb tightening, full face-ups, wig swapping, things like that. This video is more just showing how if you have a regular American Girl doll that you're not really bonding with that much, you can just easily make some of these additions and it may help you bond with these dolls more. Now, by all means, you can use a lot of the things that I am teaching in this video on a full custom, just putting them all together. But this is more things that you can do subtly to customize your doll while still kind of keeping them looking like their original doll, just making small additions, not big changes. Some of these things are more risky than others. I do recommend a lot of these things trying them for the first time on maybe more of a thrifted doll or a doll you don't care about as much. But without further ado, I'm going to stop rambling. So let's talk about how I subtly customize my dolls. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is ear piercings. Now, the easiest way to do this is to get it done by American Girl. You can obviously have this done when you first order a doll from the American Girl website, but you can also go to, I believe, any American Girl store, at least one that has a salon, and they will pierce your doll's ears. However, this one does require a bit of money. The benefit of it, though, is that you can swap out the earrings a lot easier than a homemade method. Next is what I like to call just the easiest way to pierce a doll's ears at home. I have seen this method some places. It is what I personally do. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I did it on my doll Sydney. This method is pretty easy. All that you will need will be some push pins and some human earrings. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find the spot on the doll's ears that you want the earring to go and stab the push pin into the vinyl. This shouldn't be too hard. Sometimes you kind of have to wiggle it in a little bit, but you don't need to boil the doll's head like you do with an eye swap or anything. Next, you're going to want to leave it in for 5 to 10 minutes is typically what I do. But once you've done that evenly on both sides and left it in, you're going to want to take your human earring with all of the back studs pulled out. You will only need the front. You do not need anything to secure it because the vinyl will mold around it. Then you're going to want to quickly pull the push pin out and then put your human earring in the little hole. And the vinyl that the doll ears are made out of will naturally just close around the earring so that it won't fall out. This method does mean that the earring that you pick will most likely be the earring that stays in the doll. You can take it out if you want to, but it is not like you want to swap it out with every outfit. It is more of if you have a major change to the doll, you will take it out. This is super easy, takes literally no time, like less than 15 minutes. Super subtle, and this one is pretty low risk as well. If you want to get more creative with it after trying a few times, you can do piercings in different spots. This is one of my favorite sets of piercings I've done on my doll Danica. I've just got it all over her ear and it looks so adorable. The next customization is a more of a permanent one, and that is a nose piercing. This one is definitely more noticeable, but still subtle. This is one I more exclusively do on customs, but it's the same method as the ear piercing, except instead of stabbing them in the ear, just stab them through the nostril, and then take a little jump ring that you use for jewelry, mold it into a J shape, and then you put the longer J shape half in the nostril hole when you take it out, and it creates this ring effect. I think it looks super cute. I've done gold and silver. However, if you want a stud, there's another method to do that. This one you will need to be able to take your doll's head off to do. I'm sure there are other methods. You could do the same thing as the earring method just with a stud, but this method is really interesting. It is a magnet. These are just some fake nose piercings from Amazon for humans, which you will see again in a moment, but they just like kind of move around is the only struggle. What you do is you put them on either side, one side of the magnet on the inside of the doll's head and then one side on the outside. The only struggle is once you put the doll's head back on their body, if it falls down into their body, you have to take their head off again. I think it looks really cool. I do use these studs again somewhere else where I think it's more effective, but this is just another method if you don't really feel comfortable stabbing your doll and you would rather just take their head off. So next is my personal favorite method of customization is belly button piercings. So this is my favorite way to do it because it really doesn't cause damage to the doll at all. You just take a human earring and you stab it into where you want the belly button piercing to be. You can also take a second earring to make it look like a real belly button piercing. Super easy, leaves no damage. And then again, if you want to take the doll's head off, you can use the fake nose piercing magnet thing. Sorry, my camera was not focusing. And you just slip it in one side of, like you just slip your hand down into the doll body with the side of the magnet that would magnet onto the side with the stud. And then you got like a little sparkle, and this one can pop off really easily, and you can move this one around. Next is one I typically only use on my customs because it can be a little bit more permanent / add staining, but that is Freckles. I just use a slightly damp watercolor pencil. This is really nice. My style of Freckles is more suited towards if it has a face up to go along with it, but you can do it with a watercolor pencil the way I do it without the full face up. I have never personally tried it, but it can be something that I do see a lot of people do just to subtly customize their dolls depending on the method. Okay, so this one isn't as much of a customization as just something you can do to bond with a doll more, and that is give them glasses. These are some of my girlies that I just recently gave glasses, and it has helped me connect with them so much more. I think it's something a lot of people just kind of don't think about, especially if you're not a person that wears glasses. Like me, I don't wear glasses, so I just don't really think about it as much. But if you just buy like some cute glasses from American Girl, Amazon, eBay, and just put them on your doll, trust me, it is so worth it. They're adorable. Tattoos can be a little challenging, but if you're like me and not super artistically gifted, a little hack is to just use a human tattoo. I got a ton out of K-pop albums when my K-pop obsession was going on, and it's super easy. You just put it on like you would on yourself. It can be a little hard to peel it off without peeling the tattoo on because it doesn't always want to stick to the vinyl, and I would recommend sealing them just to have them be more permanent. I personally don't, but I'm very, very gentle with my dolls. I actually did a few more on this custom girly, and they're just so cute. Alright, and lastly, I kind of want to talk about wig swapping because, well, this is something I personally only do on my custom dolls. If you are feeling really brave, and again, I do recommend doing this more with secondhand dolls, not really a doll you buy first from American Girl, but totally up to you. Whenever I do a custom or any doll where I remove their wig, I do not keep it glued down because if I just don't feel like that wig is fitting them, I can easily just swap it out. And it's also really good if you do photography or stop motions because if you need a different character or something to recreate, then you can just swap their wig out. Like Sydney here has played boys in stop motions, or she will in a stop motion I'm currently making. So I just think that it is just a super big tip. I only have one custom where she has her wig glued down, and I regret gluing down that wig so much that I actually bought that wig again. So please, just if you take a doll's wig off, do not glue it down if you like to have your dolls change up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you're curious about how to do on a doll, and I can do my best to answer it. And before you go, I just quickly want to give myself a little plug here. Okay, my editing app is being weird and it's making the audio on this video weird, so just enjoy this freeze frame and I will voice over the end of the video. So pretty much all I was saying, that little plug, the doll that you saw, the blonde one with the tattoo, that girl is actually for sale right now on my Instagram. I've had her for sale for a couple months. She's got a whole post talking about all her details, although I have added some things since then. Next week, I'm actually going to be making a video about all my custom dolls, and she will probably be in that video. I'll probably talk a little bit more about her, a little bit about all her specs, and it'll be almost like an ad for her. But if you did like what you saw and you want to snag her now, go ahead and check out my Instagram. You can comment on that post because my DMs don't always work. You can also try to DM me if you're interested, so just check out there for more information. And then I just finished with my normal outro. Check out my Instagram for anything. It is at Friday_13th AG. I also have a second Instagram now where I post doll OOTDs, outfit of the days, every single day. And that one is at AG_doll_OOTD13. It's also linked it's tagged in my standard Instagram bio. So just check out my Instagrams to see more content from me. Also, just wanted to note I may not be posting as frequently in these next 2 months because I am working very hard on a Halloween special. Again, my Instagram has more content about that. But other than that, I got nothing else to say. I love y'all so much. Thanks for dealing with this bit of a chaos video. But yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Have a good week. Bye.